Howdy gamers, Agafor here with a guide to the repeater in DayZ Experimental 0.50, otherwise known as the Rossi R92 or Winchester. The repeater is a lever action rifle famous for its exploits in the Wild West, and you've probably seen it in a film or two. The repeater spawns in the same places as the Mosin SKS blades etc. and uses the same rounds as the Magnum 357 caliber rounds. Unlike the Magnum however, the repeater is a primary weapon, has no snap loader and cannot fit inside clothing. On the other hand, like the Magnum, the repeater has no attachments, cannot be sawn off and cannot be spray painted black or green. The repeater comes with its own tube magazine, much like the pump action shotgun that was recently added, but can hold up to 11 357 rounds, even though the reload animation only shows 5 rounds being loaded in. Every time the repeater is fired, it needs to be cocked in order to fire one of the 11 rounds. This takes 1 second like the pump action shotgun and forces you away from the iron sights while it cocks. Sometimes however, for whatever reason, the cocking animation doesn't force you away from the iron sights and the repeater cocks and fires much faster as shown here. This is probably a bug, along with the cocking animation being slightly out of sync, and the reloading while prone is somewhat of a mystical experience. Aside from those minor drawbacks, the repeater zeroes between 50 and 300 meters and seems to have no faults in terms of accuracy. I'd even go as far as saying if the repeater had a scope, not that it should, it could probably rival the accuracy of the Mosin, but because it doesn't have a scope and only zeroes up to 300 meters, I'd put the effective range of this very accurate weapon between 300 to 320 meters. When it comes to damage, the 357 round one-shots civilian zombies on any body part, requires 2 shots to the chest of military zombies and 1 shot any zombie in the head. On players with 3 pieces of chest protection at full blood and full health, it will only take 1 shot to the chest, back or head to kill them. The cowboy hat however does not, for some unknown reason, make you immune to the 357 rounds, probably a bug. Now because this weapon one-shots players pretty much, I wouldn't be surprised if players pick this up as their new residential weapon of choice. You don't need a magazine, 357 rounds are fairly easy to find, the accuracy is beyond satisfying, and this weapon makes you feel like the baddest mofo in all of Chernobyl. However, because the Mosin and Mosin ammo is just as easy to find and the long range scope now spawns in residential areas, I also wouldn't be surprised if you drop the repeater for a Mosin with any scope. Another gun you may drop the repeater for is the Magnum. It uses the same rounds and therefore does the same damage, but it also easily fits into your clothing and after recent dispersion changes is accurate to between 100 and 120 meters. On top of that, the Magnum snap loaders make reloading a breeze and the rate of fire of the Magnum is faster than that of the repeater. Pushing all of that on paper boring stat stuff to one side, the repeater, even though I only shot a handful of zombies with it, is truly, in my opinion, a great addition to DayZ Standalone. Now that's probably biased because I love all things Wild West, but I think a lot of players will like this addition too, not just for the weapon's great stats, but how you will feel when using this badass weapon. Thank you for watching, thank you James for your help with this guide, and I will see you in the next video.